Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Wild Wednesday. Yes, folks, it is already hump day. Happy hump day to each and every one of you. I do hope all y'all are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that great stuff. Please, and I thank you for tuning in today if you're a old subscriber, and then if you're a new subscriber, thank you. I do ask that you guys like, share, and subscribe, and then check out my videos. I'm always here Monday through Friday, unless there's a holiday or sometimes my schedule will conflict with it. So possibly tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a video. I got a busy day, so I might not be doing one for Bloodthirsty Thursday, but I will be doing one for Fiendish Friday, and that is a 100% guarantee. I've already got the movie ready. I am going to watch it and rewatch it, and I'm going to watch it tonight. So I'll get the rewatch in Friday morning, and I will give you guys a great review for an amazing film. One of those that is an absolute classic and everybody should see. All right. And then, what else do I like to say? Oh, please do look in the description box for more information on the daily film, such as your basic plot synopsis, your starring cast, your director, the runtime of the cut I'm watching, as long as the and along with the MPAA rating, if there is one. Most of the movies I do are either unrated or not rated, or uncut. There's very little rated R, or today is actually a PG-13 movie, which is a rare one with me. I don't do too many of those. I've done this and Little Monsters, I know is one, but I can't think of any others right now off the top of my head. Maybe Manos, Hands of Fate. I think that one's PG. What a terrible movie that one is, but it's fun. Anyways, let's get on to the movie of the day. This one is a fun one. It is a blast from the past, one that I used to watch a lot when I was a kid. They would often play it on like Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon when you had nothing going on except for you can go watch some movies and hang out. It was one of those kind of ordeals. One of those that often play. Now, this one came back out in 1986, folks, and it is none other than Critters. And this, yes, folks, this is the Blu-ray that comes in the Critters box set from Scream Factory. It does have, which that is a very, very nice set. I have it upstairs. I'm just doing the review for today, for the first movie for today. I'll eventually do sequels, probably in the next years. I don't like to do sequels too close and to themselves. Unless I'm viewing them in my own spare time, I will watch them in order. But as far as reviewing, I'm not going to sit here and put you guys through like Sleepaway Camp 1 through 3 each day after another, because it'll tend to get repetitious, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So I always want to have some kind of breathing space, some in between, before I do any kind of sequels, because there are some sequels I want to do, but I'm holding off on doing them because I've already done their predecessor and the first film of the franchise, and I just don't want to bore you guys with that, I guess. Because it would get kind of repetitious. Now, what do we got here? We got an alternate reversible cover art here, which is very nice. I kind of like this one, but I am very partial to this one because that is what I remember mostly as a child, when I would go to the video store and try to find something fun and new every week, because I was just I couldn't get enough, and then there was always I would rent like a couple of movies every week, and there was always one that was a rewatch for like the millionth time. There was always one Texas Chainsaw Massacre I rented. I don't know how many freaking times, and Full Cheese Zombie is another one I rented countless amounts of times. Another one was Shockwaves with Peter Cushing and John Carradine. That's a great film if you guys have not seen that. There is a Blu-ray out there from Blue Underground. I have yet to see the quality of it or hear any news of that, so I don't know if that one's worthwhile, but I own the DVD, but it is a worthwhile movie to own and watch, I would say. It's one of my favorite zombie movies. Favorite Nazi zombie movie for sure. Another good Nazi zombie movie, I'm wearing my Dead Snow shirt. Have you guys seen Dead Snow? Dead Snow is an amazing movie. I reviewed that. I believe I reviewed that one. I'm not sure. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But I did watch it not that long ago. Rewatch it. Anyways, let's get back to the movie of the day. As far as special features go, it had that reversible cover art. It does have comes from a new 2K scan, which from the original film Elements, which is very, very nice. There is a featurette on here called They Bite, which is a good hefty featurette. It's over an hour long. I think it was like an hour and like 10 minutes or something along those lines. But it is a hefty little featurette, and then it did have a interview with who did we have? Oh no, it wasn't an interview. It was a tribute to the screenwriter Dominic Muir. And then there's the alternate ending, which I prefer the alternate ending myself. I think it makes more sense than what they do for the regular theatrical television ending. What they usually do, I prefer the alternate over it, and it does have some trailers in there. I think just trailer TV spots and the still gallery. It's got quite a bit packed in here for a singular release in a box set. So I give kudos to Scream Factory on this one. I am very happy to own this one. It is a lovely box set. Even though the fourth one I'm kind of on the fence about, but I love 1 through 3. Alright, and like I said earlier, this one is a PG-13 film. It's running at an hour and 25 minutes. It stars none other than the beautiful, the great Dee Wallace Stone, which you guys should know her from stuff like E.T., The Howling. I'm drawing. There's so many amazing films that you could go on and on and on and on. It's from big budget mainstream things to stuff like Cujo and like The Howling, and then she did E.T. Like stuff like that. She is a well-rounded actress, but she is one of my favorite scream queens out there. As a matter of fact, I know of a director here in good old Iowa that got a chance to work with her, and he was good friends with her back when she was still married to Christopher Stone, rest in peace. But she's one of my faves. And then we got Emmett Walsh, who I really like him. One of my favorite things of all time that he did was Harry and the Hendersons. And then he did a very, very fun episode of Tales from the Crypt where he is a retired man who picks up the hobby of taxidermy, and you find out that he's the animals he's taxidermying are his wife's pets. So it's a really fun, kind of like cringy, hilarious episode because it is very, very humorous. It has a lot of comedy to it. And then we got Billy Greenbush playing, what was his name? Bradley Brown. Bradley Brown, BB. And then we got Scott Grimes, Nadine Vandervelde, Don Opper, Terrance Mann is pretty good in here. I believe he is in each and every one of the sequels. I know he's for sure in 1, 2, and 4. I can't remember. Oh no, he is in the very tail end of number 3. So he is in all 4 of the Critters films. And then we got Billy Zane having a very, very, very small part in here. He's he plays a girl. Excuse me, I did not mean a girl. He plays a guy who's going out with the Browns. It's the Brown family. Is their last name is the Browns. But much like my last name is Brown. Yeah. Anyways, my name's Matt Brown, if you guys didn't know. Who cares who you are, Matt? But, where was I going? He plays a guy that's going out with the daughter of our main cast. He's got a very small role in here. You get to see him have his demise in a barn setting after he's done fooling around with the farmer's daughter. If you know what I mean, the guy got himself in trouble. And then this is directed by Stephen Herek, which this is the biggest thing I always think of with him. Nothing else really jumps out in my very forgetful mind, because I do have a very bad memory. If I don't remember things from the movie, that means I haven't watched it either a million times or I didn't rewatch it before my review. Alright, I've gone on for like 11 minutes and haven't really talked about this movie. It's basically about these creatures. They're called Krites or Critters. They escape a space station prison, and they are going to be exterminated. And they make it onto a spaceship and make it all the way to Earth, where they are they're smaller creatures, but they are absolute eating machines. They can strip a cow in no time, which is just crazy to think something this small could do that. And they grow the more they eat, which is just it's just they're kind of an intimidating creature after you start to know the concept of them. When you first see them, you're like, oh, whatever. They're these little puffballs. They kind of resemble a porcupine with a gremlin on the face, which, by the way, this is not technically a Gremlins ripoff, in my opinion. The director, the director? He said that the director. He basically came out and saying that Critter's script and everything was written way before production of Gremlins. It's just that original script got changed along the way because there was a lot more similarities between the two. So it is technically not a Gremlins ripoff, but it totally feels like one. But Gremlins there's no explanation where they come from. Unlike the Krites, they come from outer space. And then also Charles Chiodo designed a lot of the Krites. He came up with the idea, and they came up with a kind of a Tasmanian Devil type character with this like porcupine look. And then what else do we got going on? So they land on Earth. They're eating machines. They come across the Brown family, and in the meantime, there's these two bounty hunters that are sent from this intergalactic prison to go track down these Krites and destroy them, bring them back or destroy them, which they are very successful at finding them. They have these bounty hunters have this weird, cool power where they can morph and change their look into whoever they please, if they want to become that person, which I really like that. At one point, there's a character in here named Charlie who is a kind of a town drunk, but he is kind of a super genius in ways. If you watch the entire franchise, he's a bumbling idiot, but he comes up with these amazing. He's extremely good with his hands and mechanically making things. Like in what is it, the third one, he comes up with he builds a gun that fires like beans or something, but it blows up as it does it. It's for a guy that is a bumbling idiot to come up with something like that is quite impressive in my opinion. So the Browns are basically trying to defend off their house and stay alive and not get eaten by the Krites. In the meanwhile, they have decided to attack certain areas of the town. There's an interesting little bowling alley scene which I really like, which involves Emmett Walsh. There's a fun scene where the bounty hunters, one of the bounty hunters took his face from a famous rock star in the movie who did a song that was called "Power of the Night." Yeah, it was a fun little catchy little jingle, but he takes his face over that, and then the other one has a hard time figuring out what he wants to look like. He comes across this officer that was killed by the Krites. He decides he's going to take that look, even though that officer's look was completely attacked and looked like it was bloodied up, and it was bloodied up, and you can tell it had clearly been in an attack and killed. So, but they will get back to those two people, and there's this scene where they back up into a church in this cop car, and it's absolutely funny to me every time he hits the church. I don't know why I giggle every time, but it just brings me joy. Blasphemer, Matt. No, it's just because they're all like, oh. Like at first, before everything happens, they think it's just somebody like fooling around right outside the church. But then all of a sudden, this car comes flying in, and then these two bounty hunters get out. The one that's the sheriff's deputy, the dead sheriff's deputy, he is recognized by the preacher. He changes his features again to look like the preacher. Later on, you find out he doesn't like that as well. He takes after the guy named Charlie that I was telling you about earlier. So he finally finds his form in Charlie, which is really cool and fun, I guess. It makes the bumbling idiot not seem so bumbling all the time, I guess. Now, as far as anything else goes, I don't want to give away too much other than the more they eat, the bigger they get. In this one, they don't form the giant ball of critters like they do in 2 and 3, 4, when they do the giant ball of them together, because they can combine to make a bigger critter, but they don't really go over that whole thing in this one. So you got to go into number 2 and really get into that, which is a fun one too. I really like number 2. I highly suggest it. Now, as far as any kind of ratings goes for this one, on a 1 through 5 for a technical side, this thing's probably a 3. It's middle of the road. It's not a mind blower. It's got got some fun acting. It's got some great actors in here. The story develops very well. The momentum of the film goes at a nice pace. It brings you up and pulls you down, brings you up and pulls you down. Like a good film should. It's got some fun little comedy in there. Like there's a whole little scene where Charlie shoots Billy Bush's sister in the ass with a slingshot, and she thinks it's Billy Bush and Billy Green Bush, excuse me. But he shoots her in the butt. There's a whole scene where he's chasing her down with that. It is absolutely fun and hilarious. So it shows that they can make you feel for this family, invest a little bit of emotion into them to make you actually like all of them, because they are a very likable cast all the way from like everybody in this cast is very likable. It's a perfect ensemble in my opinion. So it's like I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, like I said, on that technical side. But as far as an entertainment side goes, this thing's like a 4 out of 5. This thing is an absolute blast. It feels like a 50s like monster movie, but it was made in the 80s with guys that have cool gore and are able to come up with cooler looking creatures and have more advanced technology. It's one of those things, like, I absolutely just love this movie and I can't recommend it enough. Do go out and check it out. Alright guys, so like I said, this is like a 8 or a 7 out of 10 kind of movie. It's one of those that it could be an 8 if you were watching it with like-minded people that grew up then, or like 80s, silly 80s horror movies. You'll really like that one. Alright guys, I love your faces, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow.